Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here, Kona astrologer, and I'm going to do program 1093 for you, covering the second week of November 2017. A turbulent year. Realize, all the stuff that's going on is we had an eclipse, a full solar eclipse, went right across the middle of the mainland. And since then we've had, the whole Texas, Florida, Carolina coast flooded and hurricanes. California is burning like crazy. And we've got a lot of eclipse stuff to remember, and it's not done. There's going to be more. In fact, when I get done with the sky mirror here, we're going to talk about Neptune, because Neptune is coming here to visit us in Hawaii. And we're going to have a large event or so about Neptune. More on that as soon as... Let's get to the sky mirror. What's going on here? Well, let's see. A quick review. You had a new moon opposing Uranus. We don't like hurricanes. We don't like wind. We don't like earthquakes. Eek. It goes for a month. Okay, it goes right through until the 17th of November, when there's another new moon, kind of takes you out of that. Eek, a hurricane. Yeah, so you're in a hurricane, an earthquake, a power outage. So many people have lost homes for this reason or that reason and lost power. Oh boy. The prior full moon was at 12 Taurus and sextile Neptune, so Neptune was kind of relaxed a little bit, but it's going to change. Yes. One of the biggest things of all is Neptune is stationing. It's stopping in the sky and going forward at 11 Pisces 28. That happens on the 22nd of November. So what will happen is you'll have increasing Neptune trip, and you're inside and outside. It'll come up and peak out on the 22nd and go down. It's one of those bell-shaped curves. What's Neptune? Well, your dreams will come up. They'll be more colorful. Some people will drink alcohol to kind of get away from the sensitivity. You're all going to become more sensitive. We're all going to become more sensitive. I notice when Neptune stops, my sense of smell, whoa, just like the dream and a lot of other the Piscean senses, the hidden ones, get so strong when Neptune stops on the 22nd. As you come up to it, at least 2 weeks before, a week before, oh boy, you'll be smelling every little smell. Your sense of smell gets really well developed, okay? Now, what else have I got here? So we got shaking going on from Uranus. And we got Neptune coming up to flood us all out and give us problems with liquids, basically. And one of them is going to be a big problem for the Big Island, as you're about to find out. And they focus around these lunations, which I've done some work on. A lot of work. But here's the thing. Let's go back and do the sky mirror first and kind of go day by day about this somewhat special action-filled period in our lives. Uranus is trining Saturn. Maybe the judge will stop those people from beating up on homeless folks, help those without electricity. Venus is trining Neptune. There's some higher compassion, some love, some real love. Not sex love, real love. Jupiter is moving up into Scorpio, see? And there's a meeting of planets going on there. Now, this is fixed water, Scorpio. Hence, I think flooding will be a big thing. And if you get a tsunami on the shoreline, it'll pond up and flood. I don't know about that, but more on that later. So, we got the planetary pattern. Here's the bad guy, Mars. Mars is coming out. When he gets to 18 Libra, in about 10 days from where you are, he squares Pluto. And there is going to be some road rage as you get closer to that, inside you and outside you. You have trouble controlling the wolf inside you? Well, everybody is. So this is not a good time to be a policeman during this Pluto Mars square. No. And you can bet that all the professional athletes, the Martians, who don't want to stand for anthems, and I've been like that for a long time, ever since Vietnam. Anyway, the upshot is this will get tight and tense, and there'll be road rages outside and road rages inside. You'll see it happening on Tuesday. But I get ahead of myself. Let's go through this day by day. I'm going to run the moon around the edge of the planetary patterns. The planets are the actors. Yeah, Greek and Roman gods. Everybody's known who these guys are. We know the personality of Mars. 50,000 years humanity has recorded who Mars is. That's Ku to a Hawaiian. They know Ku very, very well. Okay. So these are the actors, and these are like Shakespeare actors. Everybody knows who they are. When the moon moves around the edge of this pattern, it goes around once a month, it makes angles. Good angles are in blue, sextiles and trines. Tough angles, squares, and oppositions are in red. And so as the moon moves around, which is kind of like your inner mind, it puts the attention on what's going on with the actors. That's the best explanation I can give you right now. So that's kind of what we're tracking, is kind of the, what everybody's inner mind is focusing on which of these actors is acting up and taking the stage. So let us start. Here's the moon. If you're on the Friday show or on the Thursday night show, the moon's in Leo. Here's Leo, the red stuff, fixed fire. And Thursday night, nice sextile to Mars. Get out and do some physical stuff. Go out and protect some things. Do some real maintenance, preventative. Chase the wolves from the sheep. Hoe the weeds. That's Mars. He's an agricultural guy. He's Ku. Take care of the trees in the forests. This is important stuff. On Friday, the moon goes by the North Node, where everybody wants to take care and nurture, but there's a square to the sun, and father figures aren't around, and we don't have a real plan. Just a bunch of motherly nurturing goes on Friday through the middle of the day, through the morning and the middle of the day. Kind of nice. Moon in late Leo. In the evening of Friday the 10th, there's a nice trine to Saturn. We're organized, and a trine to Uranus. The technical thing's going fine. Management and the union agreed. Good time to go with that plan. Yes, that's a good sign. Saturn, management, Uranus, unions, common sense with planning. So, it's Good Friday night for business too, for good common sense to come in. A lot of common sense here. A lot of politicians and conservatives are going to realize, what, global warming's real and we bought this crap? Look out! On Saturday, time you get up, the moon will already have shifted into Virgo. And there's Venus. Yes. She shows up around the middle of the day, a sextile to Venus. There's sweets and lovingness, and it feels kind of sexy and nice. Virgo's an earth sign. It's not virginial. No. It's very physical. After you get done with your middle of the day Saturday of pleasure and fun, about dinner time here, the moon sextiles Jupiter, and there's some flashes of insight. There's some actual, aha, now I see it clear. That's what Jupiter does, throws lightning bolts of truth. Aha, now I see it. He's a professor, he's a lawyer. And I hope you take heed, because here's Sunday morning. This is actually 2-3 o'clock in the morning. The moon squares Neptune. Now, Neptune is stopping up ahead. He's not happy. So here's problems with water, all kinds of water. The moon's in mutable Earth, so hopefully this is changeable, and we're ahead of it by 10 days when Neptune stops. But Neptune's going to act up. Watch and see where the floods happen and problems with water. So here they are drinking, toxic water out of the EPA toxic site in Puerto Rico. My goodness. Anyway, more of that Sunday morning, and learn more about the oceans, and it won't be real happy news. By the afternoon of Sunday, though, the moon trines Pluto, and investigators come out, and there could be some real information here, some helpful stuff. Here's what we call first responders. Here's first aid guys. Here's investigators. Good police, controlling things, and also the sun. A sextile to the sun. We can get shit done here Sunday. Let's go. We got the information. Sherlock Holmes showed up, and the boss is with us, and this is a good time. Hopefully ameliorate this water event you had late Saturday, early Sunday. Cleanup time. Monday morning, things are going slow. The moon squaring Saturn. Nobody was organized. Everybody was kind of late. Continues pretty much that vibe, a little depressing through the middle of Monday. And then the moon shifts into Libra. When the moon shifts into Libra, you start feeling Mars. Now, it's going to come up pretty solid on Tuesday. The moon goes by Mars Tuesday afternoon and evening, and everybody heats up and the wolves are out. And then here's a square to Pluto. We can't control this. The football players rioted. That reminds me of a song about their rioting in Africa. Maybe I'll find that and play that for you in a minute. Kingston Trio. Anyway, there it is, Tuesday night. You're still going to feel it Wednesday. Moon's still in Libra. And it opposes Uranus and sets off that new moon point. We feel alone. The media is having a problem. Now, this is a very shaky time. This is the earthquake time. Tornadoes, hurricanes, high winds, chaos, a loss of power on Wednesday. So maybe this is the fire victims, huh? We can't control the fire. Tuesday, 14th of November. Geez, I hope not. I'm back here a month back. I'm in October 14th, trying to get ahead. So this is a month away, and California is getting worse. So I don't know. Whatever it is, there's a lot of frustration about saving and fixing and taking care of stuff here Tuesday and into Wednesday, and chaos Wednesday. And, if you mess with electricity, keep one hand in your pocket, because there's lunacy here. And it's, high winds and shaky quakes all over the joint as you come to the latter part of Libra. When you go into Scorpio, Thursday, the 16th of November, it's a fixed water sign. And now I think, Jupiter, that's shock, that's the rain god, that's thunder and lightning and lots of rain. So here's a time when too much rain could be a problem. I hope that's what's going to happen here in Hawaii. It's just going to be too much rain. We're going to have a storm park itself off our east coast and drench half of the island. We can soak it up pretty good. Of course, tsunami, Neptune problems, just a wave comes in, knocks down some poles, takes out some coastal roads. Anyway, but here's the water. This is fixed water. This looks to me like fixed water is the ocean. So this could be expansion of ocean. And this could be, we have a quakiness here. Yeah. And we have a worries over tsunamis and water here. So this period, the 15th, 16th, be nice to get through there and say, oh, well, nothing horrendous happened. That's the way it looks to me. Friday, the moon's still in Scorpio. But late Friday night, here's a conjunction to the sun. Here's a new moon in Scorpio. Take some of the emphasis and the craziness off of the hatefulness of Uranus. And eek, Uranus, we had that for a month. Well, this new moon takes you out of that a bit, takes the edge off the earthquake, the hurricane. That's why this last hit on Uranus is so hazardous. Is because this is the last hit of lunacy, with a new moon opposing Uranus. And then we have a new cycle here. Starts late Friday night in Scorpio. 26 Scorpio. Kind of takes you away from, we don't want no rules. It makes a seesaw to Saturn. And it gives up on the technical stuff. And so it'll take a while to get reoriented. And Saturday morning when you wake up, well, the moon's gone into Sagittarius. Yeah, it's not bad. The problem is the Uranus stuff, the wind and the shakiness is gone down, that hazard. But the Neptune hazard is coming up. Remember, Neptune stops on the 22nd. Here we are 3 days from there, and the moon goes by and squares Neptune. Well, Neptune is stopped. Floods, big time water problems, pollution, bad smells, tsunami. It's going to be one around. Here's another time of it. But this is definitely going to be problems on the Big Island, and especially, I think, the eastern half of it, which kind of takes a brunt of oncoming storm things. Usually if a hurricane comes along and sees our big mountain, it's like a big rock, sploosh, it just dissolves away, or it goes this way or that way. But if something comes along and parks out here, then you get a lot of rain. And there's Jupiter. Yep. Where's Venus here anyway? Let's see. We know when the rain hits. When does everybody relax? There it is. It's late Thursday. Can hardly see poor Venus right there. So there's some sweets and relaxation and cuddle with somebody you love. Late Thursday night. Saturday, the moon shifts into Sagittarius, and we have that flood zone Saturday night, Sunday morning. And it looks kind of disastrous to me now. I can't go over the whole world and tell you where the Neptune problems are, but they're going to be there. I'm going to go over the details of the Big Island prediction for you next. Sunday night, here late, moon sextiles Mars. Get out there and put away the things that might float off if you live near the beach. So that's the way it is. Neptune acting up, on the 22nd. Neptune is, the Pope comes out and speaks. This is Pisces, this is Jesus, this is classical religion of the Abrahamic type. So, there's a lot of truth in this stuff if you can get away from the smoke and mirrors, because there tends to be a lot of distortion. They crying out loud, they turn Nostradamus into some kind of a guy that looks in crystal balls. That's the work of Neptune. They don't want to talk about the technical expert, the other Enlightenment planet, Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius. Well, you've had 2,000 years of this. Their propaganda is very practiced propaganda. That's what you're going to see as you get closer to Neptune. What, movie stars? I don't know. See, it's supposed to be wave action coming at the Big Island over on that side. Okay, so a couple of shows ago I showed you this. I got curious how much work I have to do to pin down a location of even just one of these disasters. A lot of work. So I went through the Houston thing, and here was May and June and July. And what happened was, especially not just watching full moons and new moons, but also quarter moons and three-quarter moons, which are at my disposal now with this program I have. But what happened is, to looking for floods, I found out there was a cluster, for a couple of months here that all said the same thing. Neptune, there's flooding, and then things looked okay for a while, like through July, the 1st of August. And then we got more stuff. South Node, here's stuff public, here's people need help. And then there was the Hurricane Harvey, hit Houston and Galveston. And then there was a few lunations that said, oh, we're recovering and trying to get things going. And then it mellows out. So this process is a lot of work, okay? And let me show you a little bit what happened when I went after the Neptune problem on the Big Island. One of the reasons I looked at Houston was I know that Kubla Khan had 5,000 astrologers. And I think about all the work I do just to check out Hawaii. And it's a full-time job. I'd do better if I had a couple assistants. But you need an astrologer in Houston. And that's why I had 5,000 the Chinese Empire run on astrology for thousands and thousands of years, and they needed those guys to watch these lunations. So let's go back to our present situation here in Kona. Turns out when you look through all these new moons and new moons, the October 19th new moon kind of stands out as a beginning of this cluster of problem charts. The astrocartography of this is that we had Uranus down here at the bottom. Here's your hurricane or your earthquake, and it moves up through here. And where all these lines cross, tip of Baja and through there, likelihood of an earthquake is very high. And look what happens over here. Here we are in Hawaii. What's that dotted line? Well, that is Neptune on the bottom of the chart on the IC. Hence my concern for flooding and tsunamis. Okay, here's the chart of the new moon October 19th in Kona, at my house. So here's Neptune. Now this line, the IC, is like your real estate. There's your home. This is the most intimate part of your home. See, it's a 9 Pisces, or 8 Pisces 51. Now, if I go, let's say we're going to move that. What happens? We go to Pahoa. Well, let's see, first let's go to Hilo. Okay, 947. Neptune's closer to the IC here, see? Try to edge it out a little more. Here's Pahoa, and you see that Neptune got even closer to the IC. Now I take this to be a signal that the water problems are more and more as you get towards that east side of the island. But then we started looking at these other charts. Okay, here's the November 3rd full moon. What we see is there's Neptune up here, and it's squaring the rising sign. Now this is Kona. We got 8 degrees 15 minutes, so Neptune is 3 degrees off of the square to the rising sign, but it's in public. Here's public flooding and public roads and stuff like that. Now if I want to move that, let's go take a look at the Hilo side. What happens up to 912? It's closer, it's 2 degrees off the Neptune. So as I move over to that side, the Neptune gets tighter again, indicating the east side of the island is going to take some Neptune problems. Hey, before I run out of time, go to my website, skymerastrology.com/TV. Order a gift for somebody you know. Get the Jupiter chart, half price. Nothing but good Jupiter news. That's the holiday special. Now we're going to look at November 10th, which is has to do with Uranus at the bottom. Here's a quakiness, in the earth, okay? And Pluto on the rising, which could be volcanic stuff. Now, here's the way it looks at my house. Uranus at 2539, 2507. There's Kona. Watch this now, 2507. Here's 2603. This is Hilo. Here's Pahoa. We're at 2612. Here's Volcano. Yes, could be a volcano. 2530 goes to 20. This is pretty close. This is the closest one Uranus hit. Damn, running out of time. Here's the first quarter moon, November 26th. This is an important lunation, and you'll see Neptune here at the bottom of the chart. And this also moves and looks more like the eastern side of the island. But here's flooding and a Neptune event. November 26th, huh? Wow. Pretty close to the Neptune station, huh? Here's Neptune. Order a chart, a gift for your one you love, huh? Get me while I can still work. Here's Neptune, huh? Isn't he beautiful? He can do some good stuff. Yeah, he's always got those iridescent colors and butterflies and stuff. I have Neptune trine my rising. I love Neptune. But alcohol's always, I had to avoid it all my life. Occupational hazard for Neptune. Drugs and alcohol and self-aggrandizement. That's what gets Neptune masters in real trouble. Aloha.